Hi, this is Matt Kilgo, firearms program attorney for U.S. Law Shield here in Georgia. Our issue today is on verbal threats. What kind of force can you use against someone who verbally threatens you? At what point, if ever, can deadly force be used? What if this threatening person is bigger, younger, or stronger? What if, in fact, you're a woman and the person threatening you is a man? Well, the answer to all those is it depends. Each scenario will depend on the specific facts and circumstances surrounding that scenario. Let's start with the notion that Georgia allows 3 different types of force to be used to protect. You can use it to protect yourself, you can use it to protect another person. That's the threat of force, and deadly force. Those are the 3 types: threats of force, and deadly force. Threat of force, that's easy. Stop or I'll shoot. Stay away from my family. You open up your jacket, you show someone a firearm. You don't pull it out and point it at anyone. That is a threat of force. The use of force is any ability that you have to repel an unlawful contact by using force short of the use of deadly force. I know it's hard to define something by using its own terms to define itself. Let's talk about deadly force first. Deadly force is that force which is intended or likely to cause death or great bodily harm. So the use of force would be anything short of the use of deadly force. Pushing, biting, slapping, kicking, punching. Any ability that you have to repel what we call an unlawful contact. Remember, you don't have to be injured in order to protect yourself. The law in Georgia allows you to protect yourself by the threat of force and force if you reasonably believe it's necessary to protect against the imminent use of unlawful force. So you don't have to be touched if the circumstances are right, and it's all going to depend on the facts. You can use the threat of force to repel a verbal threat. You can use force to repel a verbal threat. If, for instance, I were 2 feet tall and a 9-foot tall linebacker were to tell me that he were going to kill me, then I would be able to use the threat of force, and in that scenario, perhaps even deadly force to protect myself. Now, if the situation changed and I was 9 feet tall and someone 2 feet tall threatened to kill me, well, then that may not be a situation in which my use of force or deadly force would be reasonable. In each scenario, we're going to have to look at all the attendant facts and all the attendant circumstances. It's not whether you believe it's okay or whether the attacker believes it's okay, because obviously they're going to say no. It's whether a reasonable person would believe it was necessary to use that level of force. So, you can protect yourself and all other people by the use of threats of force, and deadly force. But in each specific scenario, the facts will determine whether your use of force is justified.